Okay, so greetings everyone. This is Chris Bengus, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Wheaton Beacons, and welcome to the April edition of Headlights Live. We're excited that so many of you are able to join us today. So our focus today is on the adult market, which we all know is ripe with opportunity. As the demand for senior living options continues to grow, so does the need for high quality moving services, and specifically for companies that can cater to the unique needs of our older adults. Our featured speakers today will be Todd Emrick, our Director of Customer Service, and April Milner, our Central Regional Sales Director. For the past few years, Todd and April have been leading the Van Line's efforts to establish a foothold in the older adult market, and they've done a fine job. Just over the last 3 or 4 years, we've established stronger relationships with affinity groups such as the senior move managers, the downsizing specialists, and of course, the senior living communities. And that's resulted in a lot of leads from this segment. We also have some national contracts signed with senior living communities, and that's given us a lot of leads. So today, Todd and April are going to tell you how we've done it from the van line level and how you can do this as an individual agent. They'll also chat a little bit about our recently refreshed Silver certification program, which provides specialized training on moving household goods for older adults. So we're looking forward to a lively and productive discussion today. But first, a few reminders and shout outs. Okay, our monthly reminders. We continue to be an underwriter of the Legacy List program on PBS. But one of the things we like to do is encourage our agents to look at your customers and say, who could be on this show? And if you have candidates for this show and you can get them to submit the Be on the Show form at the Legacy List website, we'll send you a Legacy List decal. In addition, we like to remind you to use the Headlights app as a place to talk about your business. You can create a profile on the app, and there's a URL here that you can follow. Tell us a little bit about your business. You know, there are 350 agents out in the network. We don't all know each other, but it's a good way to get yourself introduced and start a discussion with agents throughout the country. You can also do that through a video. You can record one on your phone and send that video to one of the destinations listed below. There's an email address at the bottom of the page, as well as a text number. Finally, we like to hear from the network in terms of your feedback about the van line. So we have the feedback lane, which is a voicemail line. You can tell us anything you like as far as feedback, ask us some questions. If it's appropriate, it might be something that we broadcast here on the show, but be sure to dial into that feedback lane and share your thoughts. All right, and now some shout outs, recognitions. We always recognize our drivers of the month, and the March drivers of the month are Daniel Downey, Joseph Childs, George Franks, and Wilbert Barrett. So if you have occasion to see these folks working around the country or have a chance to send them a message, please send your congratulations and of course, thank them for all their hard work. Our March agents of the month: on the Wheaton side, Carolina Moving and Storage from Beaufort, South Carolina. And on the Beacon side, McGuire Moving and Storage from St. Louis. Please join me in congratulating those two agencies. All right, and with that, we're going to jump right into the show. April and Todd, take it away.
Great, thank you, Chris. So what I would like to do is show you a little bit of the information that we provided at the gala in Las Vegas a couple months back. It's going to give you an idea of really what we're looking at in terms of what they call the blue wave, or the older adult market that we're looking at. Chris, if you could go ahead and go to the next slide. And one more. There we go. Perfect. So what we're looking at right here is the number of older adults in the United States. And as we're all well aware, if you don't know this by now, you've obviously not been listening to anything the van line or the news really says. The older adult market is exploding in the United States. And it's going to be a world of opportunity for us in terms of moving, downsizing, and partnering with those senior living communities. If you take a look at the numbers, and the jumps from 54.1 million to an estimated 80.8 million from 2019 to 2040. This is where you should be focusing most of your attention at this point. And we're going to take a couple more slides and take a look and see why that is. Chris, thank you. The older adults have the wealth in the United States. They are the ones that prospered during the booms. Now they have that money and they are not, they're not afraid to use it. As we see our current downturn right now, what we're seeing on the flip side, our older adults are still making decisions to move to senior living communities or downsize into that empty nester home. So they are not bearing the brunt of the downturn as, say, the millennials would. So keep that in mind as you're focusing. They are going to be the ones that can actually afford to perform the move. So what we're taking a look at here is senior living communities under construction. And what we're focusing on is the last fourth quarter within 2022. So in 2022, there were just around 15,000 independent living units under construction and just under 20,000 assisted living units under construction. And that's actually a nice distinction because those independent livings, those are the cottages. Those are going to be the larger 1-bedroom, 2 bedrooms with a den that people are initially moving to when they're retiring or they're downsizing. Then they're transitioning into that assisted living community, which might be a little bit smaller of a living space, but they can then receive that more acute care that they're actually looking for. But that also is an opportunity for us to have a second move with that particular customer. As we move them into independent living, then we can turn around and work with them to move them into the assisted living that they're going to need later on in life, or redistribute some items that we originally moved into the independent living space, taking those to the kids as they move into the assisted living space. Next slide. So where exactly are the senior communities? And I have always found this interesting because we always think a lot of it is going to be concentrated in the Northeast, but that's not particularly true. A majority is actually out west. Then you've got a large concentration in the South, Midwest, and Northeast. That's not to say that the Northeast does not have a lot of housing units. As we saw on the last slide, there's a lot to go around. But I think it's very interesting to see, and we see that in our migration patterns every year as well. And it kind of follows those patterns. So I'm sure you all are aware of the National Association of Senior Move Managers. We have been working with them since, I believe, 2014. We are a premier industry partner as Wheaton and Beacons for NASM. We have a contract that their members can use, and it's open to all of you as agents of Wheaton Beacons. But NASM has experienced explosive growth over the last few years. They are now over 1,000 members. When I started attending their conference, I believe there were about 300 members. So in a short amount of time, it has grown tremendously. They are seeing about 5 to 10 new members per month come on board and become a full-fledged senior move manager. Their website, and I think this is just mind-blowing, has 12,000 unique visits in 2022. That is just an astronomical number. You'll see articles, if you Google NASM, you'll see articles in the New York Times. There was one recently in the Washington Post about how they are helping older adults. They recently did some internal polling. They came up with 300,000 relocations in 2022. That is from internal senior living communities to interstate moves. So that runs the entire gambit. And that is generating an estimated 1.5 billion in revenue. And they're also expanding their scope. When we all went through COVID, they were hit just like everyone else. So they had to take a look at what they were doing. So they are getting into some storage options, some interior design options. They're looking at working with universities to do move in and move outs. So they have added an extra S to their name. So now it's specialty is in their name as well. So definitely, they are in your neighborhood, they're on your block. We want to make sure that you know who they are so you can get to know them and build relationships with them. We work it at the national level, we being Wheaton Beacons. We want you to make those connections there locally because they are going to be the key holder to a lot of other opportunities for you. So let's take a look at NASM by the numbers. We have progressively seen more and more moves from them each year. This past year in 2022, we had 254 interstate moves booked under the NASM contract. I would love to see a modest increase. If we can hit 300 this year, I would be very happy. I think that would be a great increase. But keep in mind, it's not just those interstate moves that they're doing. They do a lot of local moves. They are working with those senior living communities. So while, yes, this is great for us as the van line, they have a world of opportunities for you as a local mover in your community to keep you busy all year round. And that's one of the great things about NASM is that they are not a summer focused industry. Their industry or their moves are going to be mostly after Thanksgiving, after Christmas is when they see the most calls because families are going home. They see what conditions the parents are living in, and then they are making those calls to the senior move managers. So again, let's get to 300 this year. The average weight, you'll see these are increasing over the years as well. These are not small moves. Oddly to say, they do not want to not take their stuff with them. They want to take it all with them. And we are seeing this as we are moving into senior communities, that the spaces in the senior communities are getting larger as well. I had one last year where they bought two-bedroom apartments in the community and turned it into one so they could have enough space for all of their stuff. So you are not looking at the smaller moves. With that said, I would say it is based on demographics. A lot of the moves coming out of Florida, for example, would be smaller because we're seeing people that have done their what we call first retirement into Florida, and they've already downsized, and now they're making their second move or second retirement back to where their kids are so they can be closer to their kids as they grow older. And I'm going to bust the myth that senior move managers do all the packing. For the majority of moves, the van line does have either a majority or some of the packing. And we back this up when we speak to NASM members or senior living communities. When I'm out in the field talking to them, what I am saying is, hey, let us take the risk, let us take the liability, for one, with those high value items. And two, it's going to allow you more opportunities to get out there and sell business while we're in there doing the packing. So I am an advocate of the van line packing, or at least sharing that packing. So that's how we go into these situations and advocate for you to make sure that you are doing it. And it either seems to be working or it's just a misnomer, but it's 78% from 2022, where we had some packing or all of the packing in those moves. Any questions before we move on to April about senior living communities, older adult industry in general?
Hey, Todd, I do have one thing to ask you.
Yes.
I had mentioned something about all these senior living communities, and I know you know from looking at all the data, could you give us a sense of how quickly that segment is growing? Because I know we're working with some of those communities, like in terms of how many facilities and so forth, and you've actually looked into some recent new developments. So if you could share some of that information.
Absolutely. So I will pick on Erickson Senior Living. So they are I believe they are the 14th, largest senior community in the United States. And we have been working with them for 5 years now. And I had a recent conversation with my contact there. They have plans for, I believe, 7 or 8 new locations. The article and the conversation, I think it was 14 billion in money that they are putting into building over the next 10 years. They have bought the old Marriott headquarters in DC, and they are converting that into a new senior community. There's going to be a new one in Atlanta. They are talking about a high rise in LA. So they are moving forward at full speed in terms of building. And it's interesting, since COVID to now, they are looking, the industry is looking at new opportunities. So possibly senior living rentals within the communities as well. So they're looking at expanding their footprint and providing new opportunities, which will just lead us to new opportunities as well.
That's great. Thanks, Todd.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if we don't have any further questions, I think this next section in combination with the first one will probably trigger some. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think it is April. Are you going to talk about our silver certification?
That's me.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and advance that slide.
Sorry, Chris, did you want to go through the poll first?
Sure. I'll go ahead and do that. All right. So we did send a poll. Thank you for your participation, by the way. So we ask if you are already working with senior move managers, and that's a nice percentage, 61%, but it looks like there's some opportunity there. Second question, what share of your customers are older adults? Looks like leading the pack there is 51 to 75%, and that about tracks with what we get as far as our data in terms of our customers and so forth. But again, based on what we're talking about today, we certainly see even more potential upside. Thanks for running the poll there, Jamie.
All right. So all that being said, what is in it for you, and how can we help you to capture that older adult market? We're always trying to come up with new ways that we can help you, expand your book of business, be more profitable, get a bigger return on investment. So what we've done at the Van Line is, many of you are familiar with our silver certification program. We launched it several years ago. It was built in conjunction with NASM. So NASM did vet that program. And we've recently updated it, made a few changes to it. So I'm going to be talking about that today. And we definitely are doing a relaunch on it because there's really good information that can help you break into this older adult market. Again, it's a market that is stable year round. It's a little less summer focused. It's more year round. Now that we're getting back to a traditional moving and storage calendar, we had kind of those couple off years for COVID where everyone was busy all the time. Now we're going back into a more traditional calendar where we're seeing a slower winter and a busier summer. So we want to try to balance that out. And this is a great way to do that. Here's a couple agents that have already been actively working in the older adult market and having a lot of success. You'll see here Jeff Horowitz. You'll also see Jeff in some of the new silver certification training videos that we have as part of our new program. And you can see that Jeff says here that after completing silver certification, their team created unique driver paperwork for older adults that have helped their customers better understand the process and provided a better customer experience. Obviously, you can use your own paperwork on locals and intras, depending on your state. Interstate, you will have to have our required paperwork, but there is additional educational paperwork you can provide. And I think Todd is in the process of trying to, I'm not going to use the word steal, but
Borrow.
Oh, Jeff's paperwork. You use the word steal, Todd?
No, it will be on loan.
Loan, thank you, so that we can create something similar because they've had such great success with that. So for our new silver certification program, again, we just updated it. We just relaunched it. It contains 5 sections. So you'll have to have the 5 sections completed in order to obtain your silver certification. They are 5 online classes. So all sessions are now available online. Previously, we did a combination of live training, webinars, online classes. We have moved it all online for your convenience. so that you can do these in the evening. You can do it maybe if you have a slow day locally, then that's when you can have your driver and your crew leader take them in the office, something like that. The 5 parts are for the owner / GM. So that's in either or, salesperson, coordinator, driver, and crew leader. And each of those sessions are formulated for that specific person. So they are not identical sessions. Once you complete all of your certification training, and there is testing at the end of each session, once you complete that, you will be certified, and that certification is good for 3 years. That is also a change. Previously, we did not have a time period. Now it's 3 years, and then you'll have to recertify, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And with your certification, you will get a customized, updated marketing plan, specifically focused on older adult market and how you can break into that market, some marketing strategies that's customized for your market and your size agent. And then, of course, you get access to the silver certified logo that you can use and promote on any of your business materials, your marketing materials, your sales materials. This is a great thing to do, especially if you are in an area where there's realtors who have received their older adult certification that the National Association of Realtors is now offering to them, because that gives you guys something that you have in common. Go to that next slide. So some of the new updated features of our new program, first of all, we've updated all the data. So we have very current updated data. Even if you are currently silver certified, I know we have a few agents that are currently silver certified, I would strongly recommend that you take this training again, just so that you have access to the updated data. It's really interesting data, and it's something you can share with your referrers in your groups and prove that you're the expert. You will find video testimony. So it's not just reading a bunch of slides or materials and then taking a test. We do actually have some video testimony from owners, move managers, salespeople, crew members, coordinators, all kinds of great testimony that you can use to really relate what you're doing to what we're trying to help you achieve. And then again, there is testing at the end of every session. So once you're complete, you will have access to some updated sales and marketing material that is available only for silver certified agents. We will have some forms for agency use, and the forms are still in process. Todd's working on that. And then again, you will get a customized action plan that Todd and I will help you create specifically for your market and your agency, because just like all markets are different, all agents are a little different. We really want to help you focus on your strengths and how we can apply that to this market. All right, so here's a question we've been getting. How about if I'm already silver certified? Do I need to recertify? If you are already silver certified, we are going to grandfather you into the program for these first 3 years. So in 3 years, you will need to recertify. That's not something that you need to do today. Although again, like I said, I do highly recommend that you watch some of the videos and take some of the classes, because we have updated data. Once you are certified, that's good for 3 years. At that point, you'll have to recertify. So that's going to be done on a point system. You're going to receive different points for different tasks that you complete. So for example, you'll receive points for booking a move on the NASM contract. You'll receive points for presenting to a senior living facility. Perhaps you have an online continuing education course available in your area through your local realtor board or through your local NASM members that you attend. We'll certainly give you some credit for that. And then if you have something else you're doing in the senior market, and you let Todd and I know about it, then we will certainly work with you and say, yeah, that certainly counts towards your recertification. Our goal is really just to keep you engaged and to make sure that you're up to date on the latest and greatest that is within this industry, so that you don't fall behind. I think our van line, because we've had this partnership for so long with NASM and have really been working on this market, we have a significant advantage over a lot of other van lines. So we want to keep that lead far, right? We don't want to be way out in front and then have the other van lines catch up to us because they are also starting to pivot towards this market. We already have a significant edge and we want to keep that edge. So the classes don't take very long. They're an hour or less each. Some are a little longer, some are a little shorter. None of them are more than an hour. Once you sign up and they are assigned to you, you will have 30 days to complete this. So once you register, and we're going to show that on the next slide, once those are assigned to you in the training toolbox, you do have only 30 days to complete those. So if you don't complete them in that time, we're going to have you start over. So again, really assign those to your people who you want to have take them. It doesn't take that long, but know that you only have that 30-day window. Also, I do want to stress the importance that these classes are all in the toolbox, and everyone who wants to participate in the training needs to have an Access account. So like your driver and your crew member, if they don't already have an Access account, you will need to register them for an Access account so that they have access to the videos. We have a guide on how to set up an Access account in forms and manuals under the Access user guide section if you need to know how to set someone up, or you can reach out to your RSD and we're happy to help you as well. Here's another little testimony from Melissa Benedict in Colorado. Melissa says that the Silver certification program has helped them fine-tune their processes for their local senior living community, making it easy for them to recommend us to their new agents. And they are getting quite a few referrals from that program. And then finally, for me, I do want to make everyone aware, in case you haven't been reading your memos, that we have a flash class opportunity. So again, as a way to relaunch this Silver certification program, we thought it'd be fun to do a little something extra. So for 48 hours, starting at 12:01 a.m. on May 2nd, going to 11:59 p.m. May 3rd, if you complete all of the sections of the courses, you are going to receive some special goodies and some other things from the van line. Again, you do have to register for that so that they can be assigned to you, or you can contact Sarah Kramer. Her information is here on the slide. She's in agency development. But we really, really hope to get as many people certified before peak season really hits as possible. So this would be a great time, especially if one of those days are looking a little slow on your calendar. Have everyone that you know needs to take it all on the same day, maybe assign that as their job for the day. But we're hoping to get some good traction with our flash class opportunity.
Yeah, April, we currently have 43 agents in training with the flash. I would love to see at least 25 more in there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've got another poll here to see if you are signed up for Silver certification. Oh, good. We have some people doing it now. Let's make Todd's dreams come true, people. Let's make Todd's dreams come true and have 25 more agents sign up. It would be amazing.
It's like Fund Week on a public radio station.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Donate now.
It's like we've got some signed up, but a lot of people on this call are not. More than half of the people on this call are not. You know, sign up. The classes are great. The content is great. And, you know, ideally you take it because you want to get more business and you want to improve what you're already doing, maybe expand your book of business. But even if you take all the classes and don't do anything with them, I still think you're going to learn something out of everything, every single session. And then also, who doesn't want the opportunity to work with April and Todd? Just saying, we'll work with you on some special marketing material.
So April and Todd, I'm going to give people a few more minutes to answer. You know, this
Sure.
is like public radio now, right? You know,
It is like public radio.
Until people donate. Anyway, so we do have actually 3 or 4 questions here. So
Great.
Todd, one thing that we're talking about silver certification, and I'm remembering, and this is related to the question that we got, is it's about what do we need to, how do we prepare as an agent? So it reminds me of when we started working with one of those senior living communities like 4 or 5 years ago. There's kind of some minimum requirements, right? And special considerations when you're going to work not only with this population or this demographic, but also with, say, for instance, senior living communities and their facilities. Could you give, just a quick once over in terms of what do you need to consider to be ready to do this kind of business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think each one of us, as a moving company, you guys have the skills that it takes to be successful. What we are looking at in terms of the silver certification is fine tuning those skills to that older adult market, where you have a little bit more patience. You know the questions to ask. You know the people to talk to when you're going out for the new business. So while everyone is out there doing the job that they should, this is going to give you that extra little bit of oomph to get over the hurdles.
Excellent. Another question here. Hey, this is the question you guys wanted to hear. Mike Simmons says, how do we get on Todd or April's list for them to create a custom local sales action plan? We are eager.
Well, you've got to complete the silver certification. And once you complete the silver certification, that notification comes to us. And you'll be happy to know that we have an entire business plan that you would then fill out. We're going to take that and work together to make sure that it fits your needs and your market.
Excellent. Great. And I've got one other question here. Chris had mentioned the relationships with NASM, for instance, and of course, Todd's talked about it. As an agent, how do you take advantage of that relationship? Get some business by virtue of that relationship that Van Lin has.
Absolutely. So, like I said, we work at the national level, and it's all about relationships with these people. I know a lot of them. Give me a call. We'll take a look, see who is in your area, who I know, what I know, how active they are, etc. We can have a conversation about who you should reach out to and the best way to reach out to that particular person. It may be a warm introduction from me because I know them personally, or it may be you giving them a call and offering to have a cup of coffee with them. But give me a call. We'll see who's there and develop a plan.
Great. All right. Here's a question with regard to the silver certification training. Can the same person test for the different positions?
April? I'll take this one. So this is a gray area, yes and no. We do understand that in some offices, the salesperson is also the move coordinator, and that's okay. That person can. What you cannot have happen is one person do all the testing. There has to be a driver. There has to be a crew leader. Those cannot be the same people. I know that sometimes the roles are shared, and sometimes an owner is also a driver. But what we're looking for are as many separate people as possible. And that way too, you can also train the rest of your office and the rest of your crew internally. So if you have only one person doing it all, that person's going to have to train everybody, which can be a little daunting. So what we're looking for ideally are separate people to fill those roles if you have them. Again, we do understand that sometimes the salesperson is the coordinator, and that's okay. But if we see that the same person took all the tests, we will fail you.
All right. Not ambiguous at all. Very good. All right. So here are our poll results. Jamie, I can't tell that. Is that on screen now for everyone? Yeah. Okay. Very good. So great to see that we have people who are signed up, but it looks like we have some great opportunity. And based on a couple of the questions, it sounds like we have people headed that way. So we're excited to hear that. All right. Well, that wraps up silver certification, and we can move on to the next section. Go ahead, guys.
Or I'll take this one. So with summer quickly approaching, we just wanted to give some reminders about some materials that we have available for you that you can use for your entry into peak season. First of all, we created this infographic last year. This is a great graphic that you can provide customers, but also people who refer moves to you. So if you have realtors you're working with, if you have senior move managers that you're working with, anyone who provides you leads regularly, this is a great piece to send to them, just to remind them that, hey, summer is our busiest time of year. You're going to want to give more notice. You're going to want to, really kind of explain that process a little bit better. And so this is something that's available in the training toolbox, but also on one point you can order it. The backside has a place you can customize it with your own agency information. And on our next slide, you're going to get our first look at our new Rogue Mover sheets. This actually correlates a lot with what we've just been talking about today, because the older adult is one of the prime targets for the Rogue Movers. A lot of times they don't really know as much about what to be looking for, what red flags to be looking for. And so we've created some material that is to be used for educational purposes. You can share these with your customers. Again, you can provide them to your referrers. If you have a realtor friend who works with a lot of this is not just for older adults, but if you have a realtor friend who maybe puts one of your flyers in their folder anyway, or in their leave behinds, leaving this with your agency information on it, kind of like a free ad for you, but also saying, hey, we just want to protect you. We don't want you to be taken advantage of, because every year thousands of Americans are experiencing moving fraud. And you guys as agents, you've all received those panic calls in the middle of the summer from a customer saying, I booked with this cheaper guy and now he's telling me he won't be here today. What do I do? So we just want to be the expert and do the right thing and tell people, hey, here's some educational material on how to hopefully avoid going with a road mover. Dave Belford just asked, where do we find the road mover sheets? Great question. As of after this Headlights Live, you will be able to find those in our collateral folder on our box.com account, and you can find that in forms and manuals under the sales and marketing resources. All right. Another thing we just wanted to bring up. So Matt Paxton from the Legacy List with Matt Paxton was at the gala, and he did a little presentation, and he kind of talked about his top 15 referral sources, and some of them were a little quirky, but he said they're quirky, but they work. We wanted to just relist those here. I know some of our markets are still experiencing some slower times right now. So maybe some people you want to reach out to that you didn't think of before, if your traditional referrers are not referring you moves because there just aren't as many to be had. You can see here, he's got a tier 1 and a tier 2. That's just kind of like his go-to people. And then the people you really wouldn't think about, or maybe regionally, they work better for you than others. But we just kind of wanted, I'm not going to read that list, but you can kind of read through them here. And then Chris, with that, I'm going to pass it back to you to talk about our, let's talk about people who won awards in 2022.
Absolutely. Hey, so thanks again, April and Todd. Great job on delivering all that information. Now, before we get into the peak of 2023, we thought this was a great opportunity to pause and recognize our top performers from 2022. Not everybody on this call was able to come to the gala in Vegas. So with that, we'd like to run a video to recognize these folks. All right, outstanding. Congratulations to all those folks. All right, turning our attention now to 23, although the industry is off to a sluggish start, of course, with the way the market is going, we do have bright spots. We started this contest on March 1st, the 60-day dash for cash, to see who could book the most COD moves in a 60-day sprint. And it's actually 61 technically. But a few more days left. So if you want to move up that leaderboard, that'd be great. We are going to award prizes to the top 2 in each region. So the top COD booker for each region will get $1,000 and the runner-up will get $500. And so we just want to put these names up as this is the leaderboard to date. But again, there are a few days left. This could shift. So if you can book a few more and move yourself up the leaderboard, that'd be great. So congratulations to these folks and thanks for helping us get off to as fast a start as we can. All right, and with that, I'm going to hand over the program to our Director of Marketing Communications, Jamie Shook, who's going to talk about our partnership conference.
Yes, hello. I know you all love my Harry Potter shirt there in that video. I'm gonna play that here in a second. So I was just down at the hotel for a pre-con visit. So we're gonna be, for the partnership conference, we're gonna be in Orlando on October 4th, 5th, and 6th. So I hope you all can join us. The hotel is beautiful. It's very close to Give Kids the World. So we're gonna actually be on site this year. So I'm gonna play this and then I'll answer any questions you have about the partnership conference.
Here at Give Kids the World in front of Keaton's Corral. I'm here to talk to you about the partnership conference that we're having this October of 2023. At the end of the 3-day event, we're going to have a capstone project, which is going to be a fundraiser for Give Kids the World. Rather than doing the silent auction at the hotel like we normally do, because we're so close to Give Kids the World, everybody will get bused here to Give Kids the World. We will do our silent auction. We will also have a truck pull, everybody's favorite fundraiser. So make sure you sign up. Go to wheatonbeacons.com and go to the registration page. We would love for you to join us. Thank you.
Shout out to my 12-year-old who was my videographer there. So the agent registration page is live at wheatonbeacons.com as of a couple hours ago. So if you're the first person, I might give you a special prize. But it's going to be a great event. We've got a ton of networking time that we're going to bake into the event. We will not have awards at the partnership conference. If you haven't been to a gala, we've switched all those to be given out at gala now. So we just have that much more time for networking. The truck pull at Give Kids the World will also leave time for everybody to tour the village, which is really cool. My children just got to go and tour it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and they were stunned. They did get ice cream because you get ice cream at all hours at the village. So that's a plus. But anyway, if you have any questions about conference, let me know. We do have the early registration live from now until I think the beginning of June. And then as we get closer, it goes into late registration. So go ahead and register now and plan your Orlando vacation.
Excellent.
And if I may just intercede for 1 second. Also, we will be having an exhibitor hall at the conference like we have in years past. So if you have a vendor that you work with and just really love and want to introduce them to the network, and if they're interested in exhibiting, reach out to Jamie and she can get them that information as well.
Yes, excellent ad. Thank you, April.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. I do have one more question for April and Todd. Do you mind clarifying to the group, this has to do with silver certification. Do you mind clarifying to the group that if you are grandfathered in, can we schedule with Todd for our local sales action plan, or do we need to put this request in with Sarah in training and development?
Just reach out to me and we will schedule a time between all of our schedules to get that done. There is the business plan that I will get out to you, that you'll fill that out, and then we'll have that information together when we come back to meet all as one group. So just shoot me an email or give me a call.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Todd.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that wraps it up for this edition. A couple of reminders. One of them is that in May, starting in May, during the peak season, we don't do the live broadcast. We do pre-recorded programs. So that's what you'll see during the peak season. And then the last note there, which Jamie already reminded you, but I'll take an opportunity again to look to register for the partnership conference as soon as you can. And equally important, we're looking for sponsors for the truck pull. So any opportunity where you can sponsor or find a vendor who would like to sponsor, we'd certainly welcome that, because that's a very important fundraiser for us. So with that, thanks everyone for your time and attention, and we'll see you in a recorded version in May. Thanks a lot.